Hare Krishna. Paradigm shift. How to change our paradigm? Because that actually helps us to become successful in life. And to become really happy, we have to change certain things. We'll try to understand about. Basically, success in any activity depends on how well a person balances their desire to achieve a certain results with their ability to bring that results to function. So balance between desires and ability to get that results. Now paradigm shift and how it works. So there are so many literatures on success, particularly psychological literatures that teaches people how to succeed in life. However, most of these books focus on behavior, how to act or what specific behaviors to adopt, rather than suggesting that a person must change their character or inner qualities. Now, we argue that success depends on changing our character and qualities. Character is closely linked to the concept of paradigm. A paradigm is a way of viewing the world, a system of values or coordinate system through which we understand our place in the world. Say for example, Arjuna was seeing the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was seeing the opponent armies, and immediately he had a particular view, and he decided that he will not fight, because Krishna took Arjuna and he placed him in front of Drona and Bhishma, who happened to be very much closely connected to Arjuna in terms of his career. His guru was there, Dronacharya, his family relationship, his grandfather Bhishma was there. So now he said he cannot fight, this situation is very difficult. Now Krishna, instead of changing the situation for Arjuna, what he did, he changed the way Arjuna looked at that situation. So then immediately he became successful, he achieved success. What changed? Not the situation, the paradigm changed. The way Arjuna was looking at the same situation changed. So for example, when we talk about habit that lead to success, we ultimately mean that our success depend on having the correct worldview and the right attitude towards everything that happens to us. Like, this is actually the key. Ultimately our behavior and relationship are secondary, they depend on paradigm. See how I am looking at it. Now when Arjuna was fighting with Drona and Bhishma, it didn't change the relationship of Arjuna with them, but he could still fight with them and become victorious also. So he was successful without changing much, means without affecting their relationship. So why? Because he has a shift, change in paradigm, which is the primary factor. So in other words, the paradigm is what really determines our behavior. So we discussed in our sessions that there are 7 rules of communication, and they are all, we see that they are purely depending on behavior. For instance, we discuss, like people say, try to act like this, try to smile like this, try to listen like others, try to fulfill our promises, etc. But in reality this is not entirely true. To maintain deep relationship, we change our perspective or attitude towards others. That is actually outwardly we can change our behavior as much as we like. We can smile at the person during meetings, but if we haven't truly changed inside, we haven't understood that our progress depend on that person, then the outward change will mean nothing only. Say for example, how a paradigm shift works and how our behavior depends on the change of our attitude. Say like one person was coming to temple, and he was having a very habit of addiction of smoking, and he was continuously smoking, means he didn't had any break, one after another. So now when he came to temple, he started smoking, but every 20 minutes in the morning prayers, and then we have like 3 hours of continuous morning sessions. So he used to, every 20 minutes he used to go out for 5 minutes and he used to smoke and come. Then one of them, the devotee caught him and said, how can you do this? You are coming to temple and you are going every day, every just 20 minutes and smoking and come for 3 hours. You cannot do this. This is bogus. And you are wearing a dress of a devotee and all. Now what happened? This person immediately, he fell on his knees and started begging, don't stop me coming to temple, because I have really bad habit of smoking. But now because I am coming to temple, slowly I am able to overcome my this addiction, because of this spiritual vibration environment that is helping me to overcome. So if you stop me coming, I will never be able to overcome my habit. So please allow me and give me some time so that I will overcome this problem. So eventually he could come out of that problem. He was allowed. Now smoking in temple is not allowed, but this person was having this conditioning. Now what happened? Initially he was seen as a as a person who is not following rules and breaking all these things, but later on we understood him as, no, he is actually a struggling person, he want to change, we should help him. Now what happened is, we immediately changed our way of looking at that person. Instead of looking him as a cheater or a traitor or anything, he is actually a person who is struggling. So we can clearly see that as soon as I learned about his problem, my entire attitude towards him changed. Before I saw him just as a part of some system, someone who was performing a role. No, he was like acting in such a way which is annoying everyone. But now we realize that he just is not just a screw in the machine. He was a person, and more importantly is a struggling person who is trying to purify himself. Now at that moment we don't now artificially I am not changing my behavior towards him. Now I naturally wanted to help him, right? So this shows the power of paradigm shift. That means how I am looking at that person. Now previously I saw him differently, now I am seeing differently. When I know him, when I see him differently, my behavior towards him also changes. So that's actually what happens. So when a person's internal state changes, their character and behavior changes on their own, because they come from the internal shift. So a paradigm is like a map. If we have correct map, we can find what we need in the map. If the map is wrong, no matter how much we change our behavior or attitude, we won't find what we are looking for. Say we are driving in a city with a wrong map and trying to find a location in an unfamiliar area. We can change our behavior, try to be optimistic, we can drive fast, we can drive slow, we can follow all the traffic rules, but we will never find the location because you are with a different map. So we may be optimistic and convince ourselves that we will reach the goal, but we still won't get anywhere. So in other words, the paradigm is our map. So real success in life depends on internal attitude, on the character, on the fundamental principles we built our approach to life. Now here in this example, the paradigm shift occurred instantly, but in real life changes, one's worldview is usually a very slow and painful process. We are conditioned from childhood with the wrong paradigm, and changing that is difficult. Changing paradigm is slow, often painful process, because it involves changing long held habits. It's much easier to learn something new than to return to retrain the old habits. Now this is why the process of devotional service or any spiritual practice is so essential. It is about developing good habits and living according to the spiritual values. So this is actually the most important thing we should learn. We should have some spiritual practices which will help us to change the way we are looking at the world. The same situation, same circumstances, but the way we are looking changes. So spiritual practices are meant to make us independent, to help us change the worldview, and that's actually what Krishna taught Arjuna, to change his view of looking at the world and made him successful. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.